Hi all, welcome to Mission 919, my channel devoted to information, stories, and narratives of African achievement, well-being, and prosperity. Today we're going to talk about Kimpa Vita. Kimpa Vita was born in the Kingdom of Congo in 1684 or thereabouts, and she died in 1706 at the age of 22 or so. She was born to a noble family or a high-born family. Um, she became a prophetess, or she was initiated in as an nganga marinda, who was someone who is trained to communicate with the supernatural world, the spiritual world, in order to address community problems. And the community problem that she faced was widespread disorder, anarchy, divisions among the ruling families um, as a result of the aftermath of a civil war. In 1665, there was the Battle of Mbwila, which um, divided the kingdom. Sometime thereafter, the capital, Mbanza, Congo, which is in northern Angola, um, somewhat near the coast, um, was abandoned. And so she came into this situation, and she had a sort of a new dispensation of Catholicism, because the Portuguese had an influence in Congo for a couple of centuries by this point. Um, and so she said that she was the reincarnation of Saint Anthony of Padua, and she preached that um, Jesus and Mary were Africans from the Congo, um, and that um, slavery should be ended, and that the monarchy, the kingdom, should be reunified, and that Mbanza Congo, the capital, which had been abandoned, should be reoccupied. And with her followers, she did just that. I believe in 1704 or 1705, she organized followers to reoccupy the capital city and encourage the surrounding peasants to resettle the city. Um, these teachings and others worried the Portuguese clerics who were advising the king, and they, along with the king, I guess, instigated her arrest. She was put on trial as a heretic, and she was burned at the stake, I believe, with her infant son. Um, Her remains, according to some anyway, were um, ground into dust and dispersed. So there would be no, I guess, burial site or relics as a point of focus for her followers. Um, so some people view her as um, sort of a reformer within Catholicism, as a Christian who wanted to reinterpret the Christian message within an African context. There are other people who view basically her teachings as camouflage for the indigenous spiritual traditions of the Congo, which they view as the original and primordial teachings of the Nile Valley spirituality. And then there are others who view her as basically aligning, they view her teachings as aligning with the teachings of the Hebrew Israelites, that Jesus and Mary and the Hebrews in general were an African people. And so since her death on July 2nd, 1706, her legacy has been an inspiration for different types of people wanting to reassert an African spiritual and religious and intellectual autonomy and self-determination. And so she's, I think, viewed in that context. Some people view her as the mother of the African Revolution. On July 2nd, which was it was the day of her execution, there are public ceremonies in the Republic of Congo. I believe a university in Angola is named after her. And so also there's a film that has been in the works. I don't think it's actually been produced yet, but there's definitely a desire to make a sort of biopic of her life. Now, after 1706, some people say that her followers were many of them were enslaved and brought to the Western Hemisphere in places like Brazil, Cuba, and the United States. In 1739, the largest slave revolt of the British colonies. That is before American independence. In 1739 in South Carolina, there was a Stono Rebellion, which was carried out by enslaved peoples from Congo. And so, the influence and impact that she may have had after her passing should not be underestimated. In the 1700s, there's a tradition of sculptures of Jesus and Mary and others as African people. This could be also either the direct or indirect result of her movement. And so Kimpa Vita is part of the intellectual, religious, spiritual resistance to colonialism and enslavement. And so just for that reason, she's an important figure to know. And so in the name of the ancestors and the unborn who are the same, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Please share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.